I can't even.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the Today's Restaurant News Networking Group at 11 o'clock. We are a group of vendors in the restaurant industry who are here to help each other grow our businesses and to help any restaurant owner, manager, or chef with any problems they might have, and they feel like they would like to pick our brains a little bit. We encourage you to give us a call at 561-620-8888 or go to our website at trnusa.com and take a look at our YouTube page, which is Today's Restaurant, which is, and subscribe when you're there, so you'll get notices of the new videos. Where are we? Okay. John, I'm going to put you on mute. I don't know if that's you or Randy from the car. But
oh, that's my car. Yeah, hold on. Mute me.
I don't know, it was one of you guys. All right. Hope everybody had a good July 4th break. Some of us went on vacation. Some of us were still here working. And I want to welcome Traci Pumo to the group this morning. It's nice to see you representing the company. I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind just to tell us a little bit about your company and what you do and how we can get in touch with you.
Sure. So I joined, well, as you probably all know, Chris started this company a number of years ago, and I joined last year as the Chief Operating Officer. And so my role is really to help with the growth of the company and the direction that we're going in operations. But Skyline at its core is an FP&A consulting and data analytics company. And so we help with operational finance, and we're really industry agnostic, but one of our largest verticals is the restaurant and hospitality space. And so appreciate you having us on this call and joining. Really easy to get in touch with. My email is just Traci, Traci, at skyline-analytics.com. And I see there's a Traci.net on the call, so I'm going to have to start collecting royalties, I think. I don't know. But spelled the same way.
Gonna say I love the way your name is spelled. Ours is an acronym, unfortunately, not somebody's name.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. Welcome aboard. Say hi to Chris. So let's do our intros, and then we'll get into a conversation and start our second half of the year off, hopefully with a little push. Darren, you want to start us off?
Sure. I'm Darren Gall with Traci.net. Love your name, Traci. Traci for us is an acronym for transmit, receive, and communicate information. So we've been around since 1987. We've been through all aspects of communications. Our acronym was relevant back then. It's relevant today, as we help people solve issues with their phone systems and internet connections and giving them redundancy and reliability, so that if you're using VoIP and your internet goes down, your phones are down unless you have an adequate backup solution. So that's something that we do. We have a product that actually will keep your phones up and running with either dual WAN connectivity and LTE backup. And what separates our product from most SD-WAN solutions is we tunnel voice traffic. So it's coming across an IP directly from our data center, and it doesn't drop the call as it changes from one carrier to the next. So if you know people having struggles with phones, they need to keep 100% redundancy. That's what we do. Traci.net. You can reach us online at www.traci.net. Our phone number is 800-881-8899, or you can reach out via email to sales@traci.net.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go to Otto Preminger, John Bunn.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a good week last week. We were the ones on vacation. I'll admit it. Woo, it was great. My name is John Bunn. I'm with the BH Bunn Company. As you can see over my shoulders, we manufacture the string tying machines. Just about anything you can think of. We've bundled it from money to bakery goods to pizza boxes to clamshells holding chicken, weird type of food into trays that don't really stay closed, to laundry, newspapers, literally anything, even metal products. As you can see behind, it's kind of a simple mechanical piece of equipment. They last well over 50, 75 years. Our phone number is 1-800-222-BUN. Our website is buntyco.com, which will show up soon behind me. And appreciate it. And good to see everyone again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Randy, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Randy Pumputis here with Heartland Payroll. John, great to see you, Mr. Bunn. I have a follow-up with you for that one franchise group for your product.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, they're open to it. Heartland Payroll. So we handle everything from startups to mergers and acquisitions in the hospitality and restaurant vertical. Very excited to announce we just partnered with a company called Synergy and specialize in all types of tax credits for restaurants. Since our software handles work opportunity tax credits, what's very appealing is the R&D tax credit, research and development. Just learning about it, but it has anything from remodeling credits to commissary. So when they change their menu, there's actually a tax credit that's available to these restaurateurs, and very excited to roll it out, helping these businesses, earn more revenue while getting some tax breaks. I can be reached at 585-622-2993. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank Terry Ark for 2 introductions she made for the group this week, both of whom I contacted. One is an attorney in the hospitality industry, and she will be joining us next week. And hopefully John Boucher will join us also next week. He's a business broker. So I encourage all of you to talk to your friends and associates in the industry and tell them about us and invite them to come. So Terry, why don't you, Terry Ark, tell us who you are, what you do.
Okay, as you all can see, my colorful background, a lot of things that help someone remember a company is color, logo, creativity, and that's what I'm all about. So I'm in the promotional products business. I've been in the business for 20 years. So I take care of anything that you can possibly think of that you might want to put your logo on. There are all kinds of different things that companies use, restaurants can use. This morning, I'm going to just kind of promote a little thing that you may not have thought about, but when you're at a restaurant at a table in the evening, a lot of times they have these little candles. Soy candles are a big thing right now, so that to kind of give the ambiance of a restaurant in the evening. So just a little extra with your logo on. And though there's people that have allergies to certain types of candles, they have soy candles now. So I'm Terry, Creative Business Impressions, anything that you can think of that you want to put your logo on. 561-308-1393.
Thank you. Good morning, Terry Lena.
Good morning. I was also one of those people on vacation, so I was glad to have some time off. I am with Workwear Outfitters, and we manufacture multiple lines of workwear. We are launching a brand new line, which is called our Cool Collection, which I'm really excited about because one of the things everybody's talking about, how do we keep our employees cool? So this line, I was fortunate enough, I was on a cruise and I got to have a wear test done while being on the Princess Cruise Line. So I'm very excited to get, some of the new products out there. So if anybody's looking for some new cool apparel to wear, reach out. Terry Lena, 720-244-4972.
Did you see the email that I sent you with that mock-up?
I did not. I
Uh,
have to, every time you guys send me email, for some reason, it goes in my junk email. So I have to look in there. This is the first time Terry sent me the lead list to my work email that it actually, I thought, because I worked with IT to get it, but it actually came to my work email, but I'll look for it.
yeah, check your spam
So
folder.
I will. I'll look when we're done with the call.
Yeah, many times with the attachments, especially as large as the leads list, it goes into a lot of people's junk, and then they take, they say it's not junk, and then it still goes in the next month, and then after that it's good. So hopefully,
Yeah.
but contact me by the 10th if you don't get them.
Oh, I will. I will.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Gabby, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Gabby with Worksite PEO. We are a full service professional employer organization. What we do is we do HR outsourcing. We specialize in the restaurant and Main Street industries, in which we are able to streamline everything that is back office so that you will have, time to focus on what you really got into business for. And we are also very good at providing capital back for restaurants, especially for restaurants, in the form of the FICA tip tax credit. My phone number is 561-479-7474. If anyone wants to have a business evaluation, I'll be more than happy to.
Okay, thank you. Pam, good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone today? I have a new computer, so I was trying to get the laptop because the other computer, the new one, didn't have you on there. But I'm Pamela Hewitt. I'm with Navitas Credit. Good to see everyone. No, I did not take a vacation because I love working so much. So we offer financing to businesses. We work with companies that sell equipment, manufacture, IT equipment. We also offer working capital, but we're an $800 million direct lender. And we really specialize in companies like, for example, Bun Company or Traci Net, partnering with companies, putting finance programs together to help them close more sales for their clients. So for you out there, any business that's expanding, opening new locations, buying equipment, that's all great leads for me. And we are nationwide in Canada. And we also pay a referral fee of up to 5%. So you can also just, if you're out there and you see somebody that's expanding, even if I call them, if they finance, say $100,000, you could get 5% of, that particular finance agreement that we do. So keep us in mind for any and I just want to point out the banks are really tight right now. So you may think that companies that you're calling on are strong financially, and they may be, but their credit lines might be being cut. So that's why equipment financing and our working capital programs really come in handy for some of those clients. So let me know and maybe make some extra money.
Good, thank you.
My contact information is my direct cell is 813-531-0654. My email is phewitt, HEWETT @Navitas Credit, NAVITAS credit.com.
Great, thank you.
I'm going to share that on the chat too, because Navitas Credit, no one ever remembers
I
to
want to
spell.
mention, it's good that you put it on the chat, but on the email that I send out at the end of every meeting with everybody's contact information, if you see something on that list that's not correct or it's missing in a column, please let me know so that I can add it or correct it so that I keep everything up to date.
Yes, thank you.
TRN Terry, good morning.
Morning, everyone. I actually handle the office and the lead reports. The lead reports are my baby. Almost 9 years now we've been doing these. I get my leads from so many sources I can't even begin to tell you. But we have focused more on brand new, upcoming, getting licenses for things that are just signing leases, just going into development, so you can get in there before anyone else, rather than, you know, trying to get something like the day before it opens. Working really hard on that. The team has a great attitude for that. We get a report once a month. Sometimes it was by the 9th, now it could be the 10th or 11th, but it's in an Excel spreadsheet. It gives you where it's at in the stage of development, what it is. Many times a complete, like if does it have a bar, does it have 2 bars and outside? Many of the restaurants are doing roof bars and rooftop. We put that in, owners' names, email addresses, and phone numbers, and about when they're opening. And those are all on separate columns. So let's just say you wanted to separate those by zip code or city to give to your salespeople. You could do that. If you just want to take the line that's got the email addresses and do your own email, you can do that. So it's done in a format that is pretty easy to work for everyone, and a ton of information. And make sure when you get them, you open them all the way across, because your email address should be the last column. And then where they're at, like under construction, permitting stages, planning stages. We have a lot of restaurant chains that Florida has not seen yet that are coming into the state, that I, for one, am happy to see, because I know about them, being from the West Coast, California. So I'm very happy to share that. And what I'm going to try to do is each meeting, I'm going to pull out one good lead that I think everyone might be able to use. You know, you can try and get business. I didn't do it today, I just thought of it. So I'm going to have one lead every meeting for everyone here. So Terry at trnusa.com. And yes, Terry, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
John, thank you for being so attentive. That was nice. John Zaza?
You're welcome.
I had forgotten, I had to look. I'm like, who is that? Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go,
Yeah.
go ahead and give us your
Okay.
intro, John.
Yeah. So hi everybody. John Zaza. I'm here with representing and working with Survey. If you're in front of your computer, you can pull it up. It's very simple. get.ser.bi. Survey is a ordering platform that makes service a lot faster for busy restaurants and bars. Great for hotels with big pool areas, patios, especially beach hotels. You simply scan. You can all see this. You scan a QR code that's available on all tabletops or patios, or at the bar, at the beach, on umbrellas. You scan the QR code, and from there you can do everything. You can order your food. You can pay for it. The restaurants love it. It helps with their staff shortages of staff, which are quite abundant. Where at least in Florida, and from what I hear around the country in certain areas, and it doesn't replace the staff. But it enhances it. It augments the staffing issues that restaurants have. Again, get.serve.vi, and my contact information is cell number 561-633-8013, and john.zaza, Z-A-Z-A, at ser.vi is my email address. Thank you.
All right, thank you. John Marinek, good morning.
Good morning, John Marinek, Marinek Food Service Consultants. We design restaurants, so if you need anything designed, we're the people to call. we're doing projects all around the world right now. So numbers 954-817-1183. Thank you.
Are you up at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, I'm up at the U.S. Open. We're working around the clock. We've got a lot of things happening, and it's pretty interesting. In 2 weeks, I'll head over to Central Asia. So
Holy
it's a busy
cow,
time. Yeah.
you don't stop.
Well, they keep paying. I keep going.
Well, we've known you for so many years, and I'm telling you, you're a workhorse. Anybody that needs restaurant design, we mention you all the time. You are right up there. So
Well, thank you.
good luck.
Thanks.
And speaking about being right up there, there's Mr. Mulholland.
Right, I don't know where I'm up.
John.
Hey, 4th of July was fun. I got to have lunch, as you guys know from last week, at Big Bear Brewery. Wasn't it Big Bear?
Yeah.
Big Bear Brewing Company, yes.
Yes, and I really want to thank Howard for letting me know that they were going to lift the drawbridges up in Fort Lauderdale. And if you were stuck on the wrong side, you would have had to wait till after 9 o'clock to drive, in our situation, all the way back to St. Petersburg. So I'm glad we got out of town quick enough to not get stuck. Most of you guys know what we do by now. If not, we save people money by taking over your purchasing of food. However, a lot of people, I think, want to wait till the business is established. We can actually help people set up their restaurant when they're getting new into the business and show them how to order and a few other tricks of the trade to help them get off to a better start. That way they don't fall into the pitfall of what happens with most restaurants in the first year that they open up. John at Strategic Supply Chain, I guess Kevin and Chris are, I don't know where they are today, but let me take over the show. You can reach me at 678-362-7307.
Chris is on vacation, and Kevin, I don't know, haven't seen him in a couple of weeks.
Kevin said it's John's turn.
Yeah.
When you give me a chance to public speak, I'll take any advantage of it. I love doing it.
If anybody wants to see what Strategic Supply Chain Partners actually does, you can go onto our YouTube page. We have a video of theirs posted on the YouTube page. Just search it and it'll come right up.
Awesome.
Quite an outfit. Quite a way to save money.
I always say any restaurant right now should be using your services.
I agree.
Along with all of us.
I agree. That makes me hungry just thinking of that.
Okay, did I forget anybody?
Yes.
Not Chewy. He wanted to chat real quick. Chewy, stop.
That's a dog of a lead.
That's a dog of a lead.
That's my little troublemaker. That's who it is, Chewy.
My dog's name is also Chewy. That's funny.
Oh, that's funny. He was a rescue. They were going to kill him for biting after his owner died. He's a Chiweenie. What's your dog? That's why it's simple. I just called him Chewy. What's your dog? What type of dog do you have, Gabrielle?
I have a Yorkie.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
He's usually bothering me, but he's laying down right now and doesn't want to move.
Good, good. Well, I've got 2 laying down and one causing trouble.
I want to ask the group a question, and this is strictly a question for information. In the past, we've had a couple of joint meetings with a guest speaker, and I'm working on another one that sometime in the next couple of months. But what do you think of the idea of every couple of months or 3 months, every quarter, to have a joint meeting with the 9 o'clock group. Just to, because most of the people in that group did not do what the people in this group do.
I'm still open. I'm in.
Yeah, you
I
can
think
never,
that'd be great.
I think it'd be fantastic. Never meet too many people.
Yeah,
That's right. I
absolutely.
agree.
All right, so
Don't
I
worry,
mean,
John, no one in restaurant design.
John saying, "Bring it on."
give me a show of hands. Say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
How many no's?
State your name.
Any no's?
No,
No,
nobody.
no.
All right, so I'm
No,
gonna try.
no.
I'm gonna try and set that up. They're a great group of people, as you all are. I think that the opportunity to meet some new people would be great, and
And they have connections.
they're very verbal. So it's a lot of always good conversation. And again, they have connections like we do. So I think it'd be a great idea. I will put that into work.
Make sure you warn them that most of the conversation is before we record.
Yeah.
Are you gonna change the time, Howard, to make it a little bit longer for all the extra introductions and stuff?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When we had joint meetings with the speaker, we made it at 10 o'clock.
And it went till about 11:30 or 12.
No, it didn't
Does
go
that
that
work?
long. But
Yeah, it did.
one speaker I'm talking to requested that I give him more than an hour because what he does requires that. It's something that we all should know. It's for safety. He's a retired police officer and he has a company that teaches security and public and personal safety. And so I'm working with him on trying to shorten the
Yeah, an
demonstration.
hour is a little long.
Yeah, I can't do an hour.
No, I would say, 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, he's having a tough time doing that.
Yeah, well,
In any
he's got to
event,
do it in 30 minutes.
Wait,
those
his
are-
presentation, he wants to do a presentation for an hour?
I'm sorry?
He wants to do a presentation for an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not...
And that's one of our meeting lengths. It's not like that's
Mhm.
excessive, to be honest.
No, but taking in consideration, then we won't have time to like introduce and talk and whatever.
Yeah. I'll work it out with him.
And then we'll
No,
make
if-
it just longer. Yeah.
If anybody has anybody that they want to recommend who can speak to the group and be beneficial to us, please let me know about that as well. So if we do the group meeting without a speaker, should we keep it at 11 or should we go to 10 o'clock?
10.
Any thoughts on that?
10 Eastern.
I'd
would-
say 10. Yeah.
10.
10?
10.
How many people say 10?
All of us.
Yeah.
10 or 11 works for me.
Yeah. I'm neutral.
All right, so I'll ask them and see what they say, and I'll try to set it up maybe, sometime in August.
And I'm really very interested. It's the first time I've heard what this police officer has to say. I mean, they have seen it all. So if they can tell you anything about safety in your business, in your computers, and your personal, so I would like to know what that is. So
Well,
let's,
he's
give him
doing-
like a half hour.
He's doing, I've spoken to him and
45
he's
at the
trying to
most.
whittle it down. We might do more than one, so we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Is everyone good with
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Personal safety right now in this world, I'll take it, whether it's computer, phone, body, whatever.
And this guy's hysterical when he speaks. He has.
Oh yeah, you know him,
jokes.
right?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Oh, you know him, Darren.
I do. Yeah. He's in a different group with Howard and I as well, and he's just a really down to earth guy. Marty's just a super guy. And,
Oh.
he knows his stuff, and he doesn't have an agenda. He's just teaching people, what I call situational awareness. You know your surroundings, know what's around you, and how to act or not act in different situations.
Oh, cool. Now we don't need him.
Well, you do. I didn't tell you how.
No,
That's the teaser.
In the old days, in my former life, I had a call it a retail. I was a restaurant equipment dealer in Manhattan, and I was on the Bowery, which is where all the homeless people lived. And it was not a great part of town, but it was, that's where the industry was at that time. And when I was planning on opening up there, everybody said, put a buzzer on the door so you can let somebody in. And I outright refused to do that because you can't really judge a book by its cover, so to speak. And when somebody came through the door, and if I didn't want to buzz them in, I could be turning away a sale. So I totally did not want to do that. And I got to say, I was right in my decision, because people would come to the door who looked like they were homeless and looked like they were living in the street and come in, and they were building a restaurant. And they bought their equipment from us, and it was, and we had a great time doing it. So I had a lot of fun. So
you were lucky.
Lucky. But Daniel, this guy Daniel, he essentially teaches gun safety. Would that be correct, Darren?
He does that to some degree, but he also talks just in general about how to protect yourself, and just, really more gun understanding is the way I would word it, learning how to safely handle a gun, how to use a gun. But he also teaches self-defense, and just like in situational awareness and the permit training to get a firearm. Not that it's needed in Florida anymore.
Yeah, now it's legal to carry it if you already have one. You can carry it without a permit now in Florida. So that would be good to hear. I would enjoy hearing that for sure. Anything about safety, you can't be too careful. You just can't.
Okay.
Somebody tried to rob me at 4 o'clock in the morning in California when I lived there, and I was crazy enough to go to an ATM at 4 o'clock. There were 2 men hiding behind the machine, and I didn't see them. And they came out as I was backing up. Luckily, I had a gun on me. So I pulled it out, and I said, I will not hesitate to use this. And I'd never shot a gun before. And so I got back in my car. I backed into my car, locked the doors, and they chased me, and one grabbed onto the window. And so I hit the pedal, and I don't know what happened to him, but then I called the police. So yeah, never go to the ATM at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, if you would have done that in Florida, you would have ended up getting arrested.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, my friend, I don't want to get involved in it, but yeah,
They
you have to be
masks on, and we're clearly waiting for someone. But thank goodness I carried. Yeah, well, when you drive down the hill and up the hill, and at 4 in the morning, and you're a sales manager and you're all over the country, you better have a gun.
Florida has stand your ground. You don't even have to run. You could just shoot.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a very vague interpretation on that, unfortunately. That's, I think, what Howard's hinting at, that you got to be careful what the situation is, because you have to truly fear for your life is what the stand your ground
you have to be afraid. Well, I was a little afraid for my life with 2 of them with ski masks coming after me.
My friend was a military policeman, and carried a pistol for 25 years, and fortunately never had to use it. And he was out walking his dog one morning, and a guy in a pickup truck pulled up next to him and started cursing at him, yelling at him. He said, "You're going to pick up after your dog, aren't you? If not, I'm going to kill you." and I don't know, words were exchanged, and the guy got out of the truck and knocked my friend down. And my friend's not a small guy. But he's unstable. I mean, physically unstable. And when he was on the ground, he didn't take the gun out. He just showed the gun and told the guy, "Get away from me or I'll blow your head off." And he thought it was over. And 2 days later, the cops came to his house and arrested him because you're not allowed to do that. So you have to be
You
very
can't
careful.
pull it and not use it if then you're not afraid.
And I don't want to get more involved in that conversation because I don't know that much about it. I don't care to know that much about it. And anyhow,
And we are recording, so.
since we all are basically in our daily lives, we are all under the umbrella of salespeople. I'm curious to know what procedures or what kind of perhaps new techniques are you looking to employ in the second half of this year and going forward to try to increase business? I know that, or what do you find to be your best method of getting to somebody? And we know that it's difficult to get to a restaurant owner during peak hours, during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you have to be aware of when those hours are, and you have to be aware that you can't really approach them at those hours. So anybody have any thoughts on to use what tools are available to you, like the leads report, and how to properly use the leads report? Okay.
I have like a cheat sheet, I guess, or a cheat code that I use with the leads report, or even with restaurant owners. When I need to find the name of a restaurant owner and I don't see it on the lead list, we also have My Edge, which Brandy might know is a tool for people that are in our industry, for us to find out who actually signed the documents and all that. So if I don't find it there, I go to sunbiz.com and find who is the one that actually opened. You know, it's most likely going to be the owner of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's here's a cheat code. If you go to truepeoplesearch.com, it's completely free. Look for the person's first and last name in the state of Florida or wherever state they are. You kind of have to do a little guessing or of what city they're in, but you can find their phone number, their cell phone number, their personal email address, even their address, which is a little scary because, you know, all that information is out there. I've looked myself up and I was like, oh my God, this is all accurate.
What's that website?
TruePeopleSearch.com.
True People Search, yeah.
And you could also do a reverse search. So if you're not finding the person or you're not sure, because there's a ton of lists of people with the same first and last name, you can actually do like a reverse search for the restaurant, and it will give you who has that phone number listed.
Yep. Yeah, the emails I find are the hardest, and a lot of times it's Googling their name and their actual home address as to where you find the email, and or they have other businesses that they're associated with. So I can almost get all of them, but it's,
you know, the professional email address is not listed there because it's not a professional tool, but you'll find their personal address in there.
Does everybody use LinkedIn? Does everybody use LinkedIn as a tool?
For this industry is not very used because restaurateurs don't have time to be in LinkedIn, but I use it all the time for other industries.
Well, LinkedIn gives you. You're right. Restaurant owners per se are not there. They're more on Facebook, I think. And
No, Twitter.
I find that on Facebook I'm able to get email addresses and phone numbers from the restaurant, not the individual.
Well, I would say one of the things that we do, when we attend the show, like any type of restaurant show, we always buy the lead list. Whether they stop by our booth or not, we work and we send engaged templates out, and it'll be like, hey, what's cooking? And we'll send, something maybe on the new chef coat, or, 3 weeks later, the chef pan. And then we track those emails. If they're opening it, then we're going as so far as now our new, this is just new. We haven't even completed it yet. I have to do a video. We're doing personal videos to say, hey, we've been sending you some information. Are you ready to have a call? And then if they engage in that, then we're going to send them a gift that will be like a little gift box with a candy in it and maybe, a postcard or something like that. So that's kind of what we're trying to do now to get, especially in the restaurant industry, trying to, get some feedback, because you get that initial, yes, I'm interested, I want to wear test, and you know how long that takes. I just got an email today from when Kevin and I did the Florida restaurant show that he was apologizing that it took him so long to get back with me with the sizes and colors that he needed, and that was like a month and a half ago. So anyway, that's what we're doing on a corporate level.
A while
How
back.
many of you will be at the Florida Restaurant Show? We have a booth there, so how many are?
I have to tell you. So
Gabby,
they went to the National Restaurant Show, Terry, in I forget where it was.
Chicago. It's always in Chicago.
Right. So again, this is how we roll. So they thought that show was amazing, which I just thought it was so big, right? I just put in for the bar and restaurant show, and I'm trying to tell them I'm based in Florida, I think we need to do more local shows and then move up to national shows, especially
those shows it's a big, expensive regional show. That show is huge. I mean, you can't even, and everywhere to stay is outrageous, and it's very, very expensive. And I mean, I don't know. I haven't gone in a long time. We do NAFM. We'll go to NAFM, which is the largest show in the world. That's every 2 years. This time, I think it's in February, but
that's equipment.
Yeah,
only.
That NRA show is brutal.
The NRA show, if you have to know how to work a trade show, and that's something I want to discuss also. If you go to Chicago and do the national show, there are companies that have been in this industry, like Randy, like Heartland. They're an established, old line company, but there are companies like Joe's payroll company, well, not really, another company, Joe's Uniforms, that are new to the industry, and they're in a separate hall. And if you're interested in talking to somebody who makes the decision, that's the way you should be going, because many times at a trade show, the person who can make the decision is not even at the booth.
Right.
But like you said, in the other hall with the smaller, newer companies, the owners are there. They're manning
That's what I said.
the booth.
They can make the decision.
Right.
I made my biggest sale at a trade show at the national show. In that hall, I walked in and met a company that was just breaking into the cooking equipment line, spoke to him for 10 minutes, and he gave me 2 full pages centerfold. So that was in that hall. But that show could take you 4 days to walk if you do it properly.
Right.
But Terry Lena also exhibited at the Florida Restaurant Show last year, and that's not a good representation of what that show really is. This year will be a better representation of that
Right.
show.
But out of that show, I met Michael Tips from Bar Rescue, show, and he introduced me to Chef Duffy. So there's conversations there.
Yes.
So even if you get one good lead, and I will tell you, out of the National Restaurant Show, because of that show, I'm currently working with Carnival Cruise Lines on culinary. So, I mean, that's a big deal.
That's
Just
huge.
have the opportunity to work with them. So, but the thing of it is, if
Get
I
a
could-
retainer from Carnival.
right, if I could pull all of the trade shows that we do on a corporate level, because don't forget, we manufacture how many different lines of workwear, right? If you would see the amount of money that we spend on trade shows and trying to track that ROI is just, I mean, it's hard to do. And that's why we're doing all these follow-up engage campaigns, because we're trying to actually figure out, how do we say, well, okay, I got this lead, but how much ROI did that lead really bring, right? I mean, it's just a lot. And trade shows, listen, in my younger days, I would do a trade show all the time, loved it, was fun. But as you get older and you're standing for, how many days, setting up, talking, entertaining afterwards, it's a lot of work to do these trade shows financially. It really is.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
don't want to, any kind of advertising or promotion that you do, I always say this, it's not going to happen in one time.
Right.
So it's a question of having your brand be marketed and having your brand be recognized. And I'm going to toot my own horn here for a second, but if, for example, if your company would, or any company would take a quarter-page ad in our newspaper and with some email blast for the price of a third of the booth or less, and run that for a year, if you made 1 or 2 sales the whole year, you'd be way ahead of the game.
Right.
So it's a question of how you see, I'm going to pat myself. We offer the value over time. One time, you might get something, you might not, but over time, I think we go out to almost 500,000 people at this point. So right now, we're kicking it.
Howard, years
Yes.
ago in the mailing industry, as we've been in it since day one, you always get about a 1% return on mailing something to a customer.
Right.
And
One half
whenever
of 1%.
Yeah. Well, if you're lucky, 1%. And that's what everybody shot for. But with emails and everything, mails dwindled. People aren't doing it. You get the newer generation. They want everything technology wise, and everything's email. Everybody's getting fed up with emails. I was at a meeting with the postal customer councils a few months back, and they brought out a new statistic. It was really quite interesting that in today's world, even the newer generations are getting tired of the emails. Sorry, I had to restart my video here. The screen locked up. They're getting tired of all the emails and they can't handle it all. So what they've now come up with and found that if you do an email and follow up with mail them a postcard, mail them an odd shaped postcard, not just 3.5 by 11, whatever, and an envelope and some information, follow up with an email and do another mailing, they're actually starting to see an 18% return.
Really?
Well,
yes.
let me tell you,
combination of everything that you got to do.
If you do an email and let's say you get a 20% open rate, which is not uncommon in what we do. If you then take another email, if you take the same email and send it to those who didn't open it, your open rate will go anywhere between 40 and 70%. If you take another email and send it to those people who opened the original email, you're going anywhere between 60 and 80%, because you're approaching people who expressed an interest to start with. And this is all email.
Mhm.
And
But I
then,
will add to that as well, because we track that and we do that. But as well, then we get a call task every month. I get a call task on everyone that opened my email. And and then I only have 10 days to complete this call task. I call these people. You know what my call task says? Attempted call, attempted call, attempted call. Even though they've been opening up my emails, from what we're gathering in our intel is it's going to take 10 to 15, maybe even 20 touches before they actually engage with you. I mean, that's a lot of work. I'm sorry, but that's a lot of work where I would rather personally work a hot lead, or even a warm lead. But when you're starting out with all these cold leads, it's
Yeah,
just overwhelming work. Like
it's
at least
brutal.
with
Yeah.
Terry's list that she's sending out, they're in the market. Hey, they're expanding, they're opening a new store. They're going to need our services at some point, right?
are
I
you
don't know.
using that are you using that list that you
Yeah,
let
we
me,
have that list.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that
buy
list
the
is
list.
50% bad.
Yeah, but don't forget, again, I'm not just because I'm from Florida to New York, so I'm not just culinary. I'm it. Like
I
I
got
was wearing
people
the
in Canada getting this
I was
lead
supposed
list.
to be in Pennsylvania this week in a corrections facility, and I unfortunately I was just getting over a cold, but I mean, it's hard to be in sales, this day and age. It's really hard because of all of this. Everything is so different than it was when most of us, there's a lot of younger people on this
Yeah,
call.
absolutely.
When most of us started in this business, it was a phone call. You could knock on a company's door and they'd talk to you. Half the time, no soliciting. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I don't know, guys. I am so thrilled I'm on the back end of my journey. I love what I do, but I'm really looking forward to just every day's a
I
bonus day.
know. I hear what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
think sales is all about relationships too. I mean,
It
and
is.
everything you're doing marketing wise,
Definitely.
you're trying to build a brand and you're trying to build awareness to your company. And then you have to form relationships with people. And ultimately, I follow a method what I call gap selling, where you've got to create a gap where the customer is and where you can take them. And if that gap is great enough to justify the cost, they're going to want to do business with you. So you're no longer selling, you're solving a problem.
Right.
Right.
So I think that's the challenge in sales is creating opportunity. You can market, and that builds awareness, but when you're talking to someone, you've got to get past that screener, but you've got to create the opportunity to present a solution to a decision maker. And that's ultimately what sales is about. So anything you can do to open that door, to have, a warm lead, as you said, is so much more important than just here, call this person, they're opening a restaurant. If you say, hey, I know this person because my neighbor plays golf with him, and use that introduction. Oh, you're a golfer. Yeah, I heard you play with so and so. Yeah, a good friend of one of my neighbors. And that's how you start that conversation to then get into how can I solve a problem for you. So I tell people I'm not selling anything. I'm identifying problems and seeing if there's an opportunity for a solution. And that's what really helps. And I mean, no matter what your brand is or your product is, that applies. You just have to create that gap to where you help them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, I would love to stay, but I'm already 2 minutes late for my next call. So everybody have a great weekend.
Yeah, we've come to the end of our time together today.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Take
have a
care,
great
guys.
weekend.
Now it's time to say
And if
goodbye
you'd like to
all our
reach out to
family.
us, please give us a call at 561-620-8888 or visit our website at trnusa.com. Have a great weekend. See you next week.